Gandalf! Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Your home for all content Lord of the Rings home. Today we are going to talk about the kit reveal for Gandalf. I just woke up a little bit ago, so I'm still kind of processing things. I might be a little bit slower than normal, but I'm very excited about the kit, so hopefully I kind of wake up and get a little bit more energy and I can actually think straight as I'm reading and displaying this information for you. All right, Gandalf the Grey, support leader fellowship. I was seeing people in the main Discord saying, oh, we don't know if he's a leader. We don't know if he's going to have the fellowship tag. And I'm pretty sure they covered that. They told us he was going to be a leader for the fellowship. Obviously, he works best here with the two other fellowship characters currently in the game. People were wondering why he's blue and not gray. This is more accurate to Tolkien's version. Here's the famous quote. I am a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Anor. You cannot pass. The dark fire will not avail you, flame of Udun. That's the Balrog. Go back to the shadow. You cannot pass. They changed it. I saw this in the Discord as well today. You cannot pass is from the book. You shall not pass is from the movie. Peter Jackson changed that. Maybe he thought it was going to be more cinematic. Books versus movies and what you should change is a whole other conversation. We're just going to talk about Gandalf's kit today. All right. He has the tags. He's a faction is fellowship. He has the tags light, fellowship, staff, support, leader. And I think this is something we knew as well. Honestly, now I'm having a hard time remembering what I thought he was going to be and what they actually told us. I think I was under the impression that he was probably going to be a support. Maybe they told us that, and then he was going to be passing around a lot of buffs and handing out debuffs to enemies and basically just supporting his team. Known by many names, Gandalf the Grey wanders the lands of Middle-earth to uncover the truth about the growing threat to its inhabitants. Okay. Oops, sorry. Basic, Wizard Strike. He's fighting the Nazgul here. Let's see. That's cool. Well, there's a little after effect on the bottom there. Interesting. At unlock, attack the target enemy for 90% damage. Daring you cannot pass. This ability gains additional effects. This just must be some sort of state or like buff he's in. Cannot be dodged or blocked. Deals 500% damage. That's a massive damage increase instead. And okay, this character dies at the end of his turn. So maybe you do this, you cannot pass, you put him in this state, and then he gets to do like one more ability, and then he dies. Okay, we'll see how good that is. Max upgrade, we're going from 90% damage to 190% damage and dispel one boon. I like that. Daring you cannot pass, this ability gains additional effects. Cannot be dodged or blocked, deals 1,140% damage, so more than double, and this character dies at the end of his turn. That's crazy. That's a massive amount of damage. Even if he just has sort of middle of the road damage for the characters currently released, which I doubt he will, that's pretty big. That's going to be a big hit, and that's just on his basic. I also really like this Dispel one boon. That's a great thing to have on a basic for a support character, just kind of making things easier for his team. It's also nice that this can't be dodged or blocked, right? So you can't just throw nimbles up on everybody and cheese it when you're playing against it in the arena. Special ability 1, Mithrandir's Light. Let me pull this up. You know, I've come to like the art style a little bit more. It didn't really bother me as much in the first place. I know it's a stylistic choice, but the animations have been pretty good, I gotta say. So like once you get used to the art style and you're not just like, oh, watercolors, the animations are really well done. I think there are still elements of the UI that I would like to see improved because they look not as great, but the animations recently have been really top notch. I like that. So this is a special 1. Ability stamina cost is 3, and you get 3 is the start of battle, so you can use this turn 1. Ability description at unlock. Grant protection for 1 turn to 2 random squad members. Protection. It should be... Yep. Armor is increased by 50% here. Not a whole lot of characters that give it out at the moment. This is a great new tool on LOTR.gg, by the way. Shout out to them. They're a community-run website for this game. And one of the best, most terrific resources we have for the game. I would say the best resource we have for this game at the moment. So go check them out whenever you have any sort of questions like this. During You Cannot Pass, this ability gains additional effects. Cleanse 1 Bane from all squad members. Heal all light squad members for 60% of this character's max health. And then this character dies at the end of his turn. Wow, that's a lot. That's a huge percentage of max health. So if he has a chunk of HP, then this is going to be like basically bringing all of your characters back up to max. This kind of seems like a sacrifice, but this character is sacrificed, but then everybody on the team just gets supercharged sort of thing, which I guess makes sense thematically for what you would expect from Gandalf, right? That does make sense. For context here, Pippin and Naramiri, their heals heal 18% of their max health. But they don't die at the end of their turn, so, I guess there's that. Ability description at max upgrade, grant Eagle Eye. This is you cannot miss or be blocked on your next attack. For 2 turns to 3 random Fellowship squad members and 1 turn to all other squad members. Grant protection for 2 turns to 3 random Fellowship squad members and 1 turn for all other squad members. So we get Eagle Eye as a buff, and it goes to 2 turns for both Eagle Eye and protection for Fellowship for 3 random Fellowship, and then everybody else gets 1 turn. So if you're running full Fellowship, they'll still probably get these buffs, but it'll only be for 1 turn instead of 2 turns. I'm wondering, it says 3 random. I don't think this is an indication that we're only going to be having like 4 Fellowship members. Yeah, I don't think so. I just think that person doesn't. This is probably just a tuning thing, and they still get the buff, but just for 1 turn instead of 2. And then during You Cannot Pass, oh wow, cleanse all Banes from all squad members, and the healing goes from 60% to 80% of this character's max health, which is crazy. I'm going to be very curious about the skill breakdown for this character, because, are some of the ability upgrades, like tiers, just going to be things that you get for You Cannot Pass state? This is an interesting choice. I don't know how I feel about that at the moment. So his basic does a lot of damage for You Cannot Pass, and now his special one does a heal and cleanse for You Cannot Pass, and then he dies. Special ability 2, Flame of Honor. That is a sick looking fireball. Wow. I really like that. I'm impressed with that. Abilities stamina cost 4. Ability stamina at battle start 4. So you can also use this at turn 1. So both his specials are turn 1 abilities. Ability description at unlock. Attack all enemies for 100% damage and inflict burning for 1 turn on all enemies. So here's a massive AoE, and we inflict burning. That's big, especially he's going to be good for the raids, I assume, right? Because he's the raid character, so he's going to be like the key to unlocking all the chapters of the raids. Which is why you saw a cleanses of Banes, and you can remove boons, and I don't know, he does a lot of damage, and now he's doing AoE. This is pretty crazy. During You Cannot Pass, this iteability gains additional effects. He dies. Inflict stun for 1 turn on all enemies. What if they just deleted this and just the first iteration of this at unlock is just he dies? Sorry. So he inflicts stun for 1 turn on all enemies. So this is an AoE stun and burn when he has You Cannot Pass. That's pretty crazy. Attack all enemies for 220% damage. So we increase the damage by 2 times and change. Inflict burning for 3 turns on all enemies and inflict stun for 1 turn on the target enemy. That is crazy strong. It's a cooldown of 4. This is the strongest attack in the game now. This is easily the strongest attack in the game. A stun, a burn for 3 turns. Okay. That's crazy. For those of you who don't know, burn is a... You probably do because everybody has Aragorn. Show me. Burning. On turn, take damage based on a percentage of the target's max health. Cannot evade. This Bane cannot stack. So I guess you're not going to want to use him with other characters that can burn. Like Strider. Strider's special 1, right? Has a burn on it. So maybe this is an indication that Strider is not actually going to get the Fellowship tag, and that we're going to get an Aragorn who has the Fellowship tag, so that he doesn't conflict with this. Interesting. That's interesting. Burning for 3 turns, man. We're going to see how this interacts with bosses, like the Balrog, right? Pretty much like every other game, I'm just going to look to Swigo. Basically, these max health percentage debuffs have like they cap out for bosses. They just kind of do a set amount of damage instead of actually taking off like chunks of HP like they do for normal characters. But 3 turns is crazy. And a stun? That's nuts. Okay. Daring, you cannot pass. Inflict stun for 1 turn on all enemies. So it's an AoE stun. That was the same as before. I'm still baffled by this 3-turn burn. This is huge damage. I can't get over this. This is the best attack in the game. And then the character dies. Oh, wow. Okay. Special ability 3. This is the first time we've seen somebody with a special ability 3. Not even... Oh my god, that's sick. Let me bring this up so you can see it. Oh, this is where... Okay, this is where he turns into... He gets into the you cannot pass state. That is an awesome animation. That is sweet. They've really done a good job with him. Okay, this is important. Ability stamina cost 8. Ability stamina at battle start 0. So you have to kill Gandalf before he gets 8 turns in. Otherwise, he's able to use this ability and wreak havoc. Essentially, I'm not sure why you would use the basic. Oh, I guess if you're just doing single target damage, like against, let's say, the Balrog as a raid boss, that makes sense to me. So maybe like right before, I'm sure the Balrog will have some sort of like enrage mechanic to limit how much time you can spend in there. So you can't just like have unlimited sustain and then, you know, solo it. So you use this as he's enraging or right before he enrages. You do the basic to hit the Balrog down a massive amount, and then everybody gets like 1 or 2 more turns in really quickly to get maximum damage. That makes sense to me. I think that's probably what this is. Okay, sorry. At unlock, gain you cannot pass. Heal self for 40% of this character's max health, and refresh all stamina for all other abilities. This ability is disabled while this character has you cannot pass. You can't press it again once you start it, and you can't stop it once you start it. Heal self for 40% of this character's max health. My guess is this is to avoid him just kind of getting like 1 shot after he does this, or like focus so that he actually is able to use his next ability. On upgrade, oh wow, so this is not just a... You have to actually upgrade this ability. There's going to be a lot of resources pumped into this guy. He's got 3 special abilities, a basic, a passive, and a leadership. So he's got 6 skills. To max, that's going to be like, holy, that's so much gold and so many purple mats. Oh my god. You gain cannot pass. Cleanse 2 Banes from self and heal for 80% of this character's max health. That's probably good. Again, so that they have to reapply some sort of slow or something like that. Refresh all stamina for all other abilities. Okay, this is the same as before. So then you basically have a choice as to which ability you want to use. My guess is that when you're fighting him in arena, he's going to choose to use his AoE ability that does the stun, because that's the best one. And that the other ones are really more probably raid specific. Passive ability, fly, you fools. Ability description at unlock. On death, grant haste for 1 turn to 2 random fellowship allies. Yeah, so okay, this is exactly like what I was thinking. So, right, the reason you have the choice for the, like, why would you use the basic? Is if you're just fighting a single enemy, like a big boss, like let's say the Balrog. But now you also get haste. Haste is plus 30%? I don't think it's 25. 30% speed increase, which is crazy, to 2 random fellowship allies. That's not a lot. But that's on unlock. At max upgrade, on spawn, on spawn, gain immunity for 1 turn and gain 1 stack of defensive per fellowship squad member. That's crazy. So you can't, immunity is like you can't get any Banes, right? So this is like, you can't focus him down right off the bat. That's great, actually. On death, grant haste for 2 turns to 2 random fellowship allies, so don't increase the number of fellowship allies that get haste, unfortunately, and grant 2 stamina to 2 random fellowship allies, so basically refreshing their abilities so that they can get in the last few bits of damage for the raid. But this is also gonna destroy an arena, obviously. Okay, I'm okay with this. This is nice because he has 6 skills, and so this seems like, yeah, this is like a nice upgrade to give him, but this is lower on the priority list. Doesn't seem like you have to have all of his abilities at max for him to work at all. This seems like one you can maybe hold off on and you can focus on the other abilities first. Leader, Bringer of Hope. Ability description at unlock. This character grants Istari's Gift. Oh, this is another unique thing to Gandalf. Another unique boon or status. These are very common in Swigo, and people sometimes you end up with paragraphs of text in ability kits as a result. So I guess it's literally that King Theoden meme where he's like, so it begins. Okay. Grant Istari's Gift to a random ally whenever he uses any of his abilities while no other ally has Istari's Gift. Okay. So when he uses his ability, he gives out this buff. What is the buff? Oh, it's down here. All right, let's read this first. Istari's Gift is granted to a random ally whenever the current owner of the boon uses any ability. So does it spread? How many turns do you get it for? It's a boon, so it's not like a blue thing like a Aomer's assist mechanic. It's going to be a green buff. Okay, but it looks like you kind of pass this around like popcorn. Granted to a random ally whenever the current owner of the boon uses any ability. So okay, I think they have it on them, and then they use an ability, and then it passes to another person. When that occurs, dispel Istari's Gift. Oh yeah, okay. I just need to read further instead of speculating. Dispel Istari's Gift from its current owner and call the ally who was granted Istari's Gift for an assist. That's big. So you pass to somebody else, and then they come and help you. Gandalf is then granted 2 stamina to you cannot pass if the assisting ally is fellowship, or 1 stamina to you cannot pass if the assisting ally is light. So this basically, you don't have to end up waiting 8 turns, which is a long time, to be honest. I'm not sure how many turns you get through an arena, but it doesn't feel like 8. Maybe you're kind of at the end of the battle getting through 8, but this is good if you want to make sure he's not getting focused. So you basically want to put him with a fellowship team or at a light team. He's not going to play well with shadow characters. I still think he's actually relatively plug and play friendly because he's just a great support character. Okay, I like that. Lots of assist mechanics. This is why Gimli's basic is going to be so good, because anytime he assists, he's going to be putting might on himself, right? And I don't think Legolas is going to be shooting 2 arrows with his basic. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we can see. Yeah, he just shoots 1 arrow there. Although it's really hard to see in the actual game itself. He kind of shoots one like right behind the other arrow. Okay, that's interesting. So it's like a popcorn-like buff that kind of spreads over the team. I like that. And it's basically you always get an assist when people are using skills, which is great. And then this is how you basically decrease. So 2 stamina. So this will happen in 4 turns then instead of... Oh, it happens faster than Gandalf taking 4 turns, actually, because depending on how it kind of spreads, you're going to be able to, other allies are going to be able to go. And so it might be the case where you get it on one ally, use a boon, passes it to another ally. That ally goes next and then also uses a skill. And then you immediately have 4 stamina and you're halfway to getting the you cannot pass. That's pretty great. I'm sure that they did this with the AI, but the AI probably won't use you cannot pass until it seems like it's necessary. Yeah, I'm curious as to how that's going to work with the AI. Okay. Anyway, let's move on and stop dawdling here. One other thing is you cannot pass. Okay, so while he has this buff, he taunts. He cannot be stunned. That's interesting. That's why he needs all that health, is because he actually taunts. Cannot be stunned. He has a 100% block chance. So this is going to really reduce damage. Plus 50% focus, plus 50% resistance. So this will be good for when he's trying to land all of those burnings. Plus 50% resistance. It's going to be really hard to land buffs on him, but he has minus 30% speed. And he cannot gain turn meter. Notice here that it doesn't say he cannot lose turn meter. So you could potentially use Elrond's, big wave to reduce turn meter there. There are a couple of other people in the game who have turn meter manipulation. So you might be able to use it to kind of slow him down quite a bit. But he's taunting. You should be able to clear that taunt, though. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to this right off the bat. When you're doing a dispel, do you have to pass like some sort of... I don't think you have to pass any sort of like resistance check. I think it just dispels it. So you still should be able to dispel his taunt and then get around him. That's going to be fine. I think that's not completely overpowered. I mean, it's very, very, very good, but if like this was undispellable, then that would be ridiculous. Okay. Max upgrade gives out the Astari's Gift. Fellowship squad members gain plus 20% max health. What the hell? That's insane. This guy's better than Elrond by a mile. This guy is really good. Oh my god. Okay, plus 20% max health. I'm going to say that this is probably one of the skills you should upgrade. Grant Astari's Gift. On their turns, Fellowship squad members are healed for 7% of their max health, and he has a passive heal. He's the best character in the game. He's the best attack. He has insane support abilities. He does a lot of damage. Yeah, this guy's insane. Okay. Well, let's hope we can get him. All right, key attributes. Gandalf the Grey appears as an old man with a pointed blue hat, a long gray cloak, and a silver scarf. I think that's for the people who have only seen the movies and were complaining that he's not gray. He has a long white beard and bushy eyebrows stick out beyond the brim of the hat. Gandalf also bears a wooden staff, the top of it is used to illuminate dark areas, such as the tunnels in the mines of Moria. Near the bottom of Gandalf's staff was supposedly a spike that was hammered through, which he used to carve the rune letter G on Bilbo's door in Bag End, and on some stones at the top of the ruins atop Weathertop. Inspiration. As an Astari sent to Middle-earth. I mean, he really seems like an Astari, right? So, like, Astari are the wizards, and he's also a ring bearer. I don't think they gave him that tag, though. Yeah, he's better than Elrond. This is crazy. As an Astari sent to Middle-earth by the Valar, he took the form of an old man dressed in gray. He wandered Middle-earth, giving counsel and assisting all that he met. The elf, Círdan, sensing strength and power within Gandalf, despite his appearance, gave one of the elven rings of power. Narya, that's the Ring of Fire. To Gandalf, well, not the Ring of Fire, but its aspect is fire. To Gandalf, along the predictions for his future and the promise that Narya would aid him in his journeys and challenges. In his many years on Middle-earth, he faced Sauron, directly fought him, and he aided those that would seek to defeat Sauron and his evil. One of his most memorable adventures was with the Fellowship of the Ring to aid Frodo Baggins in his quest to destroy the One Ring in the fires of Mount Doom. It was in the mines of Moria where he faced a powerful nemesis, a beast who is named Durin's Bane, for a good reason, the Balrog. Strategy tips. Use these tips to be strategic. You cannot pass as an impactful ability that can drastically shift the tide of battle by empowering Gandalf the Grey's abilities on his next turn. However, Gandalf the Grey must survive until that turn, so choose squad members to that end. Basically talking about people that can keep him alive. So you might need another healer or an off tank, like Boromir. Istari's gift will accelerate Gandalf the Grey's access to You Cannot Pass, but only if you bring Light and Fellowship members in your squad with Gandalf the Grey as the active leader. Gandalf the Grey's abilities are empowered when he has You Cannot Pass. Each ability is meant to fit distinct battle needs, different raid chapters. So assess the situation carefully when making your decision. And of course, always remember that Gandalf the Grey will sacrifice himself after using an ability while affected by You Cannot Pass. Note: Gandalf the Grey character shards are one of the major rewards of the raid, and it will take several chapters in order to collect and summon him. So you cannot expect when the first chapter gets released this Wednesday that this is just going to be something you're going to get in a week. We're going to have to wait a few months to be able to build him up. My guess is he'll be a 5-star unlock, and so we got to get all those shards. Players will be able to obtain Gandalf the Grey character shards through Guild Progress Reward Track and Personal Progress Reward Track. This is very important. You don't have to be in one of these like massive top-end cluster guilds to be working on getting Gandalf the Grey, because you get it in a Personal Progress Reward Track. So that's just going to be a lot of that's also going to be motivation for a lot of people to start working on their raid teams, which is great. As a reminder, the rewards across all reward tracks will increase with every raid chapter release, which includes the amount of Gandalf the Grey character shards. This is basically, read this as a statement of, when we release chapter 1, you're going to get like 2 shards per time you run the raid or something like that. 2 to 5 shards. You're going to be like, well, this is going to take a year to get them unlocked. But once all the chapters come out, you're going to be able to get them at more of a clip, you know? You're going to be able to get them a lot faster. And then check out the primer for this. So speaking of the raids, I plan on live streaming the first raid attempt when my guild gets it to go live. We don't have the details yet on like whether they're going to give us all a bunch of keys at the start, when exactly it's going live, are they going to prorate the chapters? So I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to live stream, but it's probably going to be on Wednesday or Thursday, I hope. They should probably give us like enough keys to start it right away, so we don't have to like, it's in the game and we have to wait a week. But I will do a live stream and we'll do some testing for the raids, which I'm very, very excited about. I know this is a very long video and it's just a kit reveal and it's just reading a website. So sorry about that, but I was very excited and a little bit dumbfounded by how powerful he is. He's the best character in the game. He's got the best attack in the game, terrific heals, terrific support. He's just the best, which is probably deserving for Gandalf, right? So let me know what you think down in the comments below, and thanks for watching.